So the last one that we're gonna do is the law of cosine. Law of cosine. So this is used for figuring out unknown sides and angles of oblique triangles. And this is not gonna have a complete pairing of side and angle, well, as we can see. So if you take a look at this again, to just revisit this, you have angles that are at the corners, angle A, angle B, and angle C. Those are at the corner, right? The opening here. And corresponding angle has a corresponding side. An angle opens up to an opposite side. So if this is angle A, then right across from that is side A. We've seen that with sine law. If this is our angle B, right across that, it opens up to side B. And angle C opens up to side little c. And we said last time, angles are upper cases, right? Uppercase A, B, and C. And then sides are lower cases, little a, little b, little c. Now, these are your two formula for cosine law. They're actually one formula. It's only one formula, except that this part they've already solved for angle A. So something like this, we're gonna put a star beside it, put a star beside that one, because that's gonna be a formula that you're gonna need for the test. So please write that down on your formula sheet. This is to solve for side, this is solve for angle. Okay, so looking at the formula, do you notice something? You see a squared equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of angle A. Angle A. We're going to do this one first in the first two examples, and then, okay. Here we go. Ready. Now you're gonna have so many formulas that the first thing that we have to do is to know when to use a formula. So when do we use a cosine law? Use cosine law when there's no matching side and angle. Okay? No matching side and angle. Absolutely. Thank you. And this is what I call it. When you have a quote okay, now you're probably thinking, well, sandwich, what does it have to do with math? Okay, you're probably thinking, sandwich, what does it have to do with math? Okay, well, what? Okay, here it is. And I call it sandwich because when an angle is sandwiched between two sides. Do you see a sandwich in this triangle? Well, what does a sandwich mean? Like you have a bread, and something in the middle, right? Your angle is sandwiched between the two sides. And this is what I'm thinking about. Here's a side, and here's a side, and the angle is sandwiched between the two sides. Do you see that? Do you see, when I say, do you see a sandwich? That's what I meant. Okay? So, we're going to call this our angle A, and then this is our side A. Angle A, side A. What's missing? We're missing a side. So we're using A squared equals to B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C times cosine of angle A. Okay? So now, it's a matter, we've recognized what kind of strategy we're going to pick. We have the formula. Now we can follow this formula, right? So A squared, so that's what we're looking for. Now I gotta pick which one's B and which one is C. We only have two sides, so it doesn't really matter. So it could be 5 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 5, because times 7 times cos of 51. Okay. So we said that this is the B, and then this is the C, and then we substituted those values into our formula. Okay. Now, once this is set up, you can actually just type this all in one onto your calculator and then get an answer. So why don't we all of us try entering this in our calculator and see what number we come up with. So go ahead and do that. I'll do the same. Did you get 29.9475? Did everybody? Yeah? Okay. Yes? So A squared is equals to 29.9475. A whole bunch of numbers after. How did I get that?
Yeah.
Oh, I asked you if you got it. Okay, so go 5 squared. 5 squared plus 7 squared. And your calculator is different than mine, so press the square button. Minus 2. What's happening in here? Negative 2 or minus 2 times 5 times 7 times cos of 51 times 5 times 7 times cos of 51. Now, did everybody get 29 point something? No? Okay. No? Okay. That's okay. So Abdul and I will come, just raise up your hand. We'll try to figure out what's going on. Most of the time your calculator was switched to radian mode to different mode. Sometimes that's what happens. Anybody else who did not get 29? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? So from here, you notice that we actually figured out a squared, not a. So how do we figure out just the a? Square root, right? That's right. Because we know we don't want the square. To cancel the square, we got to do the square root. So do the square root of that answer. Okay, get to know your calculator. Sometimes it has the answer button, so you're not retyping everything. So A, I got 5.47. Did you get 5.47? Okay, and because we're talking about the side, that would be a meter.
So that's also units around. Units around that's
Like 6 eyes to see that. Perfect. Okay, ask me the question again. Maybe, I don't know if I understand. Here? Okay, so here's a question. This is a question. Can I round the answer off from here? Round off the answer here, and then square root that rounded answer.
You can just press the square root button and then equals and then.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have different calculators. So yeah. So what you could do, I can show it to you. You have an answer button on your calculator. You can use the answer button, but I'm going to show you how to do that instead.
This means 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Given.
10, 5, 10, 25. That's the answer.
Yeah, it's asking about time.
No, they are. I is the number.
Yeah, the number is 3.1. Yeah, so I have to select like this.
Or to keep it like this.
Okay. If it is like this,
If it is like this, you are going to go with equal 2, is equal
So do you want to continue working there?
5, no, 5, D. D is the diameter.
Okay, so it's all good? Yeah?
The question,
Mm-hmm.
6.
how you know that 5 is B?
Because
How did I, that's a good question. You only have two sides, right?
Yeah.
You could call this this is B, then this is C. It doesn't matter. Okay,
So,
yeah, so,
it doesn't matter when we change it. So, if you are looking for B, we have X, we have A, and then we have C. You are looking for B, and if you don't know this is B,
That is
and
C.
this is B, this is C. I think we should, I don't know if we should have some rule says this must be B and this must be C and this must be A.
mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So, here's what we could do.
That is
If it's set up like this, the only thing that really matters is that where your angle A is and where your side A is. Because I can call this angle B, that makes this side B, or I can call this angle C, that makes it side C. Right? Now, if I switch it around and I say, oh, okay, I'm gonna call this my angle B, and this is my angle C, then this is my side B, and this is my side C, right? So, in this case, in this particular case, when you're using a cosine law, you can interchange these two and it wouldn't change your answer. Because this is the only one that you're going to be looking for in this particular
the
case.
opposite for angle must be A.
The opposite
The
for...
opposite for angle, when we look for, when we have angle, the opposite must be A.
Mm-hmm.
That is must.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, in adjacent and
Yeah.
other things.
Oh, yeah.
So if there
In
are-
this particular case, there's no adjacent
Yeah.
anymore, and there's no more hypotenuse, because those terms are no longer applicable in here. Yeah. So only thing that really is important is where your angle A is and side A. It doesn't matter.
And so,
Yeah.
and when we have angle like that, when we have x, for example, x, our A is, for example, is 7. So
Okay.
we don't have B. So how we know this is,
Yeah. Oh,
If you
that's
say x is B,
for example, yeah.
if
Well,
x is B, suppose we-
now you're changing the question. Now
Yeah.
this one, if x is 7,
Yeah.
then we won't be using cosine law, we would use sine law because we have a complete ratio. That's, yeah.
No, Michael A say, can you replace the place of x B?
Can I replace B here?
Eh,
Okay. I'm gonna redraw it because I don't want to mess it up. So if this is side B, then this means this is angle B. What else is given?
You can say even, no, even you can do it in second example.
Maybe do the next example?
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah. Let's try a different example. Yeah? Okay, good. Let's try a different example. Okay. Remember, cosine law is going to be used when you don't have a complete pairings, and you can't make a complete pairings.
If we don't have another angle.
And then when you look at this one here, you're going to use cosine law when you have a sandwich. Right? Do you see a sandwich? What's a sandwich? When the angle
Like
when the angle is sandwiched is in the middle of the two sides. Don't take me literally. This is not a real sandwich. Yeah. So when the angle is in between the two sides. When the angle is between these two sides, yeah.
When you put angle between 15 feet and x, it will be two sides again. Does it matter what angle is?
I can't hear you.
I said when angle is between 15 feet and x,
Yeah.
it's angle also. Can be anywhere.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. When the given angle is sandwiched between the two given sides. So when this is a question. So if there's 23 here, there's 15 here, and I move the 29 here, is that still a sandwich? Is the angle, given angle, sandwiched between the two sides? No. No.
Because of x.
Yeah, because if now in this case, this angle is not in between the two given sides.
Or because you have x.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we cannot do that. That is impossible.
This is not cosine law. This is a sine law.
The x has to be across from the
Yeah,
That is sine law.
this is a sine law, right? Because you have an angle and side match it. Yeah, yeah. So this is sine law. Can you see where the angle is? Can you see where the angle? The given angle is in between the two given sides. It can't be here and it can't be there, because that's going to be a totally different strategy. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, so this is going to be your A, and this is your little a. This two doesn't matter if this is B or C, right? They can be interchanged.
The A is wherever the given angle.
Yeah. The A is where the given angle. Okay, so let's give it a try. A
No.
squared.
if you say you put b there in place of x, it's possibility.
Mm-hmm. So you put a B in here,
Yeah.
and then this is side B.
On waiting.
Yeah. So why did I do this? Okay. So put your angle A where your given angle is, and this is side A. Let's give it a try. So B and C could be interchanged. Okay. Is everybody okay with this part? Is everybody okay with that part? Okay, so give it a try. Did you get a squared is equals to 150? Yeah? Okay. Everybody did? So you don't want the a squared, you want just the a. So square root. Your answer should be 12.27 feet. 12.27 feet. Is everybody okay with that one? Okay. So now I'm going to go back in here. Just going to go back in here. Use the cosine law if you're solving for a side when you're given an angle between two given sides. Okay. So you're given an angle and then the two sides in between. Okay. So that's the only thing you can do. It's not as complicated as it looks. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Don't make it complicated. That's what I'm saying. Now let's go to the next part. Here we go. Next piece. I'm going to ask you this before we move on. Can you use a sine law for this? Can you use sine law for this? Why not? You got an unknown angle. Okay. Any other? No complete pairing. Yeah, you don't have a complete pairing. No matter what you do, there's no complete pairing of angle and sides. So what can we do? Okay. We're looking at the cosine law here. We're using this formula to solve for angle A. Okay, here it is. Listen up. Listen up. The formula is this. Okay, you're gonna miss out. This is what the formula. Cos of angle A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2 times b times c. Okay. This is what the question earlier, and I want to address it before it gets complicated. You're looking for angle A. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this angle A. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no confusion. If this is my angle A, where's your side A? The 7. So this is the 7. Where's your B and the C? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this could be your B, this could be your C. Oh, is everybody okay with that? Okay, no confusion there. You're solving for angle, your theta, that's your angle A. Now you have all these in your formula, so go ahead and let's calculate this. First, we substitute the values in. Okay, what's my B? 9. So we're going to put 9 squared plus, what's my C? 6 squared minus, what's my A? 7 squared. Divided by 2 times B, 2 times 9 times 6. Is everybody clear on that one? Yeah, where your theta is, you call that angle A. Yeah. Oh, is it okay if I finish this and I'll get your question? So the first thing that you're gonna do is to figure out where your angle A is in side A, because the B and C doesn't matter where they are. Calculate the numerator. Okay, let's calculate the numerator and write down the single number. Okay, you should get 68. Yeah. And then the denominator would be 2 times 9 times 6 would be 108. Okay. So this is where we're at. 68 divided by 108. How do we solve for angle A? How do we solve for angle A? How do we have the A alone? Inverse cos, yeah. So to get rid of the cos there and have the angle A alone, we're just going to take the cos inverse of A. Cos inverse, we're going to do the cos inverse of this one as well. Cos inverse cancels the cos, so you're left with A. So you're going to type this in. You're going to take the cos inverse of all of these, so you would need to put a bracket around it. Cos inverse of 68 over 108. You should get 50.98 degrees. And it has to be degrees because you're talking about an angle. Okay? Is that good? Okay, did everybody get 50.98 degrees? Yeah? Okay, good. Take a look at example number 2. Example 4, rather. Okay, you can see here there's no complete ratio. You're given all 3 sides. Has to be one of these cosine law. Okay, so which one should I call angle A? The theta is your angle A. Then this is side little a. And then the 2 could be just B and C. Okay. So let's go ahead and calculate this. Write down the formula. So I'll give you a moment to put the values in and then calculate that. And then I'll take a look as well. Is everybody okay? What did you put? What did you put down? 103 squared plus 87 squared minus 124 squared divided by 2 times 103 times 87. So cos of A. I gotta work out the top and work out the bottom. At 2,802, is that what you got? Yeah, okay. And then the denominator would be 17,922, yes? Yeah, okay. Now you want to get rid of the cos, so you do the cos inverse of that. So angle A is equal to 81.01 degrees. Did everybody get 81?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So this one is very, very straightforward. Very straightforward. It's not it's not as bad. Okay. So I'm gonna go back in here. When to use the sign, when to use this, when you don't have a complete ratio and you have an angle that's sandwiched between two given sides. And in this one, when to use this. Any idea? Got a 3? Ah. And then if you take a look at this one, we use this one only if you have, when you're given all 3 sides. And the only thing that you can do is find an angle. Okay. So that's, actually I find law of cosines are pretty simple. It's not as bad as the other ones. Okay?